everyone. Have a nice, beautiful, and positive day. As you can see, I am here in front of you as your reporter for today. As of now, the topic that we will tackle is all about the statement of comprehensive income and the statement of financial positions that we have in our company. Just like any financial statements, the first thing that you need to follow in order to have one is always start with a heading, which is composed of 3 lines. The first line contains the name of the company. The second line contains the title of the report. And the last line contains the date of the preparation. So let us now proceed to the first line, which is the name of the company. So the name of our company is Diamond Finance Corporation. So bakit nga ba Diamond Finance Corporation? Saan ba namin galing yung company name na yan? Alam naman natin na yung diamond is one of the best known and hardest gemstone that we have in the world. So yung company name namin, hinalintulad namin siya sa isang diamond. Sa isang diamond which is unbreakable, unchangeable, and invincible. Unbreakable. Yes po, opo. Unbreakable in a way that it cannot easily be broken. And then unchangeable. Unchangeable. Unchangeable in a way that yung pagbibigay namin ng service sa mga kliyente namin, yung mga empleyado namin have strong determination to meet the needs and wants of our clients. So yung mga service na binibigay namin sa mga kliyente namin, hindi yun nagbabago. And then last, invincible. Invincible in the way that our company is too powerful to be conquered. Meaning to say, our company is unbeatable. So the second line contains the title of the report, which is Statement of Financial Position. Statement of Financial Position. When you hear this word, what comes on your mind? Ano kaya yung meaning ng Statement of Financial Position? Ano-ano kaya yung mga parts? Ano-ano kaya yung mga title accounts na under kay Statement of Financial Positions? Let us now define the Statement of Financial Position. So according to Haddock, Price, and Farina 2012, Statement of Financial Position is also known as the balance sheet. This statement includes the amounts of the company's total assets, liabilities, and owner's equity, which in totally provides the condition of the company on a specific date. So, Statement of Financial Positions. So, si Statement of Financial Position ay mas kilala sa tawag na balance sheet. And alam naman natin na sa balance sheet ay may 3 key elements of accounting, which are assets, liabilities, and owner's equity. So, yung 3 key elements of accounting na yan ay papasok sa Statement of Financial Position. Let us now define first the first key elements of accounting, which is the asset. An asset is any resource owned by a business or an economic entity. It is anything that can be owned or controlled to produce value, and that is held by an economic entity, and that could produce positive economic value. So, asset. When we say asset, sa madaling salita, ito yung lahat ng bagay-bagay o lahat ng ari-arian na pag-aari ni company na mag-generate ng income currently or in the future. So we have 2 types of assets. The current assets and the non-current assets. But as of now, let us first prioritize the current assets. So, ano nga ba si current assets? When we say current assets, these are assets that can be realized, collected, sold, used up 1 year after year and day. So, sa madaling salita, si current assets, ito daw yung mga assets that And when we say realize, ito yung mga assets na pwede nating gamitin, na pwede nating i-collect, na pwede nating ipambili sa loob ng isang taon. So dahil pinag-usapan natin si current assets, ano-ano nga ba yung mga example, ano-ano nga ba yung mga title accounts na under niya? So sa current assets, may example tayo which is the cash. So cash or cash equivalents are considered current if they are held for the current purposes, checks, cash in banks, or etc. So cash, ito mismo yung money, ito mismo yung pera mo sa business. Meaning to say, it's either naka-cheque ba yan, it's either naka-bank deposits ba yan, or it's either peso, coins, or kahit saan pang form na currency. Ito yung mga ginagamit natin in order to exchange goods and services. And of course, sa current asset, hindi lang naman yung cash, yung example ni current assets. Dito na rin pumapasok si receivables. Ano nga ba si receivables? So, receivables are debts owed to a company by its customers for goods or services that have been delivered or used but not yet paid for. So, receivables is also known as accounts receivables. So, si accounts receivables, ito mismo yung mga accounts na galing sa customers natin. What do you mean by that? So, ikaw, bilang may-ari ng company, ikaw mismo yung nagpahiram ng pera sa kliyente mo. Ikaw mismo yung nagpapahiram ng pera, which is, hindi natin alam kung yung perang bang yun ay maibabalik pa or hindi na. Kaya nga sa receivables, dyan na rin papasok si doubtful accounts. Doubtful accounts kung saan hindi natin sure kung makokolect pa ba natin yung perang pinahiram natin sa iba, sa kanila, or hindi na. Gaya nga ng sabi ko, sa current assets, dyan papasok si cash, dyan papasok si receivables, and of course, papahuli ba si inventories. Ano nga ba si inventories? So, inventories are assets held for sales in the ordinary course of business. So, sa madaling salita, yung inventories, ito yung mga raw materials used to produce goods for sale. And of course, the other current assets, which is category of things of value that a company owns, benefits from uses to generate income that can be converted into cash within one business cycle. So, aside from cash, aside from receivables, and aside from inventories, yung mga iba pang bagay na under kay current assets, yung mga natitira pang bagay na papasok kay current assets, ang siyang tinatawag nating other current assets, wherein ginagamit rin natin siya in order to generate the income. And to finalize the total current assets, sabi dito, total current assets are sum of cash, amounts receivable, inventories, and other current accounts on company's balance sheet. So, dito na pumapasok yung aggregate amount, yung sum, yung totality ng cash, receivables, inventories, and other current assets. So, kapag pinag-add natin yung apat na yun, yung total amount na makukuha natin ay tinatawag nating total current assets. And gaya nga ng sabi ko kanina, we have two types of assets. Kanina nasabi ko na yung current assets and yung mga examples na parts niya. Siyempre, magpapahuli ba si non-current assets? So ano nga ba si non-current assets? Sabi dito, non-current assets, these are the assets that cannot be realized, collected, sold, used up, 1 year after year and date. So basically, si non-current assets, meaning, hindi niya na-meet yung criteria para masabi siyang current assets. Gaya kasi ng sabi ko kanina, yung current assets, ito yung mga assets na na-generalize natin. Ito yung mga assets na nagagamit natin, na bibili natin sa loob ng 1 year. Pero dito sa siya mabibili, hindi natin siya magagamit agad-agad sa loob ng isang taon. Meaning to say, from long-term asset siya. Ano nga ba yung example na papasok kay non-current assets? So we have the property, plant, and equipment net. Ano nga ba yun? So yung property, plant, and equipment net, ito yung physical capital that a business has purchased to run its business. So sa madaling salita, yung property, yung plant, and equipment net, ito yung mga value ng building, yung value ng mga property natin. Ano-ano ba yung mga property natin? Dito napapasok si land, si building, or si furniture. Ito yung mga ginagamit natin in order to generate income also. Pero from long asset siya. From long-term asset siya lagi. And then the last, which is the other non-current assets. Sabi ko nga kanina, kumbaga dito sa property, plant, and equipment net, parang kabuuan na siya. So yung mga natitirang non-current assets, yun yung tinatawag nating other non-current assets. Other non-current assets, kasi hindi naman natin siya mabebenta agad-agad sa loob ng 1 year. So, lagi siya nare-realize ng higit pa sa 1 year. It's either 2 years pa yan or 5 years pa yan. Basta ganun siya lagi. And then, the total non-current assets. Ano nga ba yung total non-current assets? Sabi dito, add all the non-current assets. Ayan o, from the word itself, total. Ano ba yung total? Kabuuan. Yung sum. Yung totality. So, yung totality ni property, plant, and equipment net. And then the other non-current assets, ipag-add mo yung dalawang yun. Kapag na-add mo na yung dalawang yun, total non-current assets, yung amount na makukuha natin sa kanya. And then last, the total assets. Ano nga ba yung total assets? Total assets, these are the total amount of assets owed by a person or entity. Ayan na naman si total. Si total yung kabuuan daw ni assets. And alam natin na sa balancing, mapa-finance pa yan or sa accounting, may formula tayo na ginagamit. Ano nga kasi yung formula ni assets? Assets is equal to liability plus equity. So, dapat, kung ano yung nakuha nating account, kung ano yung nakuha nating amount sa bandang last kay liability and equity, dapat lagi siyang balance kay assets. Clear ba tayo dyan? Uulit-ulitin ko lang. We have 3 key elements of accounting. Ano nga kasi ulit yon? Si assets, si liabilities, and si equity. Dahil tapos na tayo kay assets, napag-usapan na din natin kung ano yung 2 types of assets, si current assets, yung mga example ni current assets, yung non-current assets, yung mga example ni non-current assets. Ngayon naman, pupunta tayo kay liabilities. Ano nga ba si liability? So, a liability is a debt owed by a company that requires the entity to give up an economic benefit to settle past transactions or events. So, sa madaling salita, liabilities, ito yung mga economic or company's obligations. Ito yung mga loans. Ito yung mga payables. Ito yung isang utang. Ito yung mga utang ng business venture. Ano-ano ba yung mga bagay na kailangan pang bayaran? Yun mismo yung meaning ni liabilities. And of course, kung meron tayong 2 types of assets kanina, syempre, ganun din sa liabilities. Meron din tayong 2 types of liabilities. Ano-ano nga ba yun? Dito napapasok si current liabilities and the non-current liabilities. But as of now, let us first define the current liabilities. Ano nga ba sa current liabilities? Current liabilities, these are the liabilities that fall due, paid within 1 year after year-end date. So, sa madaling salita, if it is considered as current liabilities if it is due within that period. If it is due within 1 year. If it is due within 12 months. Ibig sabihin, kapag lumagpas siya ng 12 months, kapag lumagpas siya ng 1 year, kapag long-term liabilities na siya, hindi na siya non-current liabilities. So, lagi lang tatandaan na sa current liabilities, lagi siyang pang short term lang after the year end of the balance sheet period. So, sa current liabilities, dahil nasabi natin yung meaning niya, dahil nagkaroon na tayo ng idea regarding these current liabilities, ngayon naman, pag-uusapan natin kung ano yung mga examples na involved kay current liabilities. Una, dyan napapasok si notes payable. Ano nga ba si notes payable? Notes payable, these are liability accounts where a borrower records a written promise to repay the lender. From the word itself, notes. Ibig sabihin, as ikaw na umutang doon sa may pinag-utangan mo, magsusulat ka ngayon ng written promise na babayaran mo yung inutang mong yon sa tamang petsa kung kailan mo siya babayaran. And of course, hindi lang naman si notes payable yung example ni current liabilities. Siyempre, papasok din dyan sa trade payables. Ano nga ba sa trade payables? Sabi dito, trade payables, these are constitute the money a company owes its vendors for inventory-related goods, such as business supplies or materials that are part of the inventory. So, sa madaling salita, si trade payables, dito napapasok si accounts payable, si rent payables, si interest payables, and accrued expenses. And then the income taxes payable, isa rin siya sa mga example na part kay current liabilities. So ano nga ba si income taxes payable? When I say income taxes payable, ito yung type of account in the current liabilities of a company's balance sheet. It is compiled of taxes due to the government within 1 year. So si income taxes payable, ito yung mga taxes, ito yung mga buwis na binabayaran natin for government purposes. Actually, lahat tayo mga mamamayan ay nagbabayad ng taxes. Hindi lang natin napapansin, pero as a student, lahat tayo as an individual ay nagbabayad ng taxes. Sa simpleng pagbibili lang, sa simpleng pagbili lang ng produkto, hindi natin alam na income taxes payable na plain tawag doon. We have also the current portion of long-term debt. Ano nga ba yung current portion of long-term debt? Ito yung mga amount of unpaid principal from long-term debt that has accrued in a company's normal operating cycle. As you can see, baka maguluhan kayo, may word na long-term debt. Sabi ko kanina, when you say current liabilities, pang short term lang siya. Kino-consider pa rin natin siya current liabilities because ito yung mga portion of long-term borrowing wherein yung pag-uutang mong yon ay magbabayad ka pa rin within that year. Magbabayad ka pa rin within that period. Kaya part pa rin siya ng current liabilities. Clear ba tayo doon? Aside from notes payable, aside from trade payables, aside from income taxes payable, aside from current portion of long-term debt, yung mga bagay na papasok or yung mga bagay na hindi ko nasabi pero part siya ng current liabilities, tawag natin doon ay other current liabilities. Other current liabilities, ito yung mga short-term debt na ginagamit natin sa balance sheet. Last but not the least, the total current liabilities. Ano nga ba si total current liabilities? These are the sum of trade payables, income taxes payable, current portion of long-term debt, and other current liabilities. Ayan o, from the word itself again, total. Ibig sabihin, ano ba yung mga kabuuan na meron? Si notes payable, si trade payables, si income taxes payables, si current portion of long-term debt, at saka yung other current liabilities. Meaning to say, kapag pinag-add mo yung limang yan, yung total amount na makukuha mo ay tinatawag na total current liabilities. Gaya nga ng sabi ko kanina, may dalawang uri tayo ng liabilities. Kanina napag-usapan na natin yung current liabilities. Napag-usapan na natin kung ano ba yung mga title accounts na under kay current liabilities. Ngayon naman, pupunta tayo kay non-current liabilities. Ano nga ba si non-current liabilities? Non-current liabilities are liabilities that do not fall due. When you say fall due, they do not fall paid, recognized as revenue within 1 year after year-end date. So, si non-current liabilities, kabaligtaran lang siya ng current liabilities. Meaning to say, mako-consider pa lang natin siyang non-current liabilities if it is not due within the year. If it is not currently payables. Meaning to say, long-term liability siya. Meaning to say, nagiging useful lang siya within longer period. Meaning to say, hindi lang 12 months, hindi lang siya 1 year. More than years. More than that. Yun yung tinatawag na non-current liabilities. So, sa non-current liabilities, isa sa mga example niya is long-term debt or the net of current portion. Ano nga ba yun? Long-term debt is debt with a maturity of longer than 1 year. This can be anywhere from 2 years to 5 years, 10 years, or even 30 years. Sabi ko nga kanina, kung si current liabilities, lagi siyang short-term liabilities. Dito sa current liabilities, which is yung example niya, lagi siyang pang long-term liabilities. What do you mean by that? Hindi natatapos yung debt mo within the year. Hindi siya pang 1 year lang. Umaabot siya ng 2 years, umaabot siya ng 5 years, umaabot ng 10 years or 30 years yung pagbabayad. At yun yung tinatawag na long-term debt, net of current portion na part ng non-current liabilities. And then total liabilities. When we say total liabilities, these are the aggregate debt by financial obligations owed by a business to individual and organizations at any specific period of time. Sa madaling salita, para makuha si total liabilities, kailangan lang natin ipag-add si current liabilities and non-current liabilities. Yung amount na makukuha natin sa dalawang yon ay tinatawag natin total liabilities. As simple as that. And of course, sa 3 key elements of accounting, dyan papasok si assets and liabilities. Pero dahil napag-usapan na natin sila, punta naman tayo sa equity. Ano nga ba sa equity? Equity represents the shareholder's stake in the company, wherein it identified on a company's balance sheet. The calculation of equity is a company's total asset minus its total liabilities. Equity. Ano nga ba yung equity? Equity, kumbaga ito yung true value ng isang company. Kumbaga ito yung book value ng isang company. Wherein, nagiging true value siya ng company dahil yung formula na ginagamit natin is assets minus liabilities is equal to equity. Ganun lang siya lagi. Basta tatandaan mo, kapag pinag-minus mo si assets at saka si liabilities, yung equity na makukuha mo, yun na mismo yung sagot nun. Examples of equity. These are the drawing, capital, and withdrawal. When we say drawing, refers to the act of withdrawing cash or assets from the company by the owners for personal use. When we say capital, this is a term for financial assets such as funds held in deposit accounts and or funds obtained from special financing sources. And last, withdrawal, this is the removal of cash, but not to reimburse the owner as in an owner's draw. So, sa madaling salita, malalaman mo na equity siya kapag yung tatlong yan makikita natin sa mismong transaction. Meaning to say, si capital, yun yung mismong puhunan mo sa business mo. Yung drawing, ito yung ginagamit siya for personal use, pero yung perang nahiniram mo yung pera sa company na yon mababalik pa rin. Yung withdrawals naman, ito yung pera na galing sa company pero hindi mo na siya magagamit, mariremain, remove na siya permanently. Yun yung tinatawag na withdrawal. So aside from capital, aside from drawing, aside from withdrawal, ano-ano pa ba yung example ni equity? So dito na papasok si stockholders equity. When you say stockholders equity, these are the total amount of assets that the inventors will own once debts and liabilities are paid off. Yung stockholders equity, ito yung total amount of capital na binibigay ni stockholder in exchange of stocks. Ito yung mga total amount of assets na makukuha ng investor kapag nagbayad na ng debts and liabilities yung mga nanghiram sa kanila. Capital stocks. Ano nga ba si capital stock? Capital stock, these are refers to the shares of ownership that have been issued by a corporation. Sa madaling salita, yung capital stock, ito yung mga common stock, ito yung mga preferred stock na sinashare ng stockholder wherein ini-issue ng corporation. Retained earnings. Ano nga ba yung retained earnings? Retained earnings, these are amount of net income left over for the business after it has paid out dividends to its shareholders. Retained earnings, from the word itself, retain. Ito yun na lang yung mga natira. Ano na lang ba yung mga natira since nagbayad ka sa part mo as shareholders. Di ba kapag shareholders ka, meron kang 10% of shares, 10% of stocks na sinashare. So kapag shinare mo yung stock na yon, yung mga natirang shares, yung mga natirang stocks, yun yung sinasabing retained earnings. Total stockholders equity. Ano nga ba si total stockholders equity? So, ito yung represents the company's remaining value after liabilities are subtracted from assets. So, meaning to say, yung capital stock and then the retained earnings, kapag inad mo yung dalawang yan, yung amount na makukuha mo ay tinatawag na total stockholders equity. Simple as that. Total liabilities and stockholders equity. Kumbaga ito na yung pinaka-final. Di ba may mga nakuha tayong total liabilities kanina? Kanina nakuha natin yung total liabilities kasi pinag-add natin si current liabilities at saka si non-current liabilities. Tapos dito naman sa stockholders equity, yung nakuha natin sagot sa total stockholders equity at saka yung nakuha natin total liabilities, ipag-add mo lang yun. Yung makukuha ang sagot nun, yun na mismo yung total liabilities and stockholders equity. As you can see, ito na yung pinaka-final output ng statement of financial position. So dito, sa pangalawang line, makikita natin dito yung date of preparation, wherein nakalagay dito as of December 31, 2010. So nag-focus tayo sa 2010, yun yung pinaka-date natin. Di ba in-explain ko na kanina kung ano yung mga 3 key elements of accounting, kung ano yung mga total accounts na under a statement of financial position. Ngayon naman, mag-focus na lang tayo kung ano-ano ba yung mga amounts na nakuha natin once nakuha natin yung mga total accounts niya. Kagaya dito sa assets. Diba sa assets, yung example niya, meron tayong two types of assets. Yung current assets, tsaka non-current assets. So dito muna sa assets, mag-focus muna tayo sa current assets. So sa current assets, di ba may mga example tayo na in-explain ko kanina. So ano ba yung mga yon? So sa current assets, meron tayong cash, meron tayong receivables, meron tayong inventories, and meron tayong other current assets. So mag-focus muna tayo sa cash. Sa cash, taong 2010, nakakuha tayo ng 880,000. Sa receivables naman, nakuha natin 1,396,000. Sa inventories naman, 1,350,000. And then sa other current assets, 998,000. So dito sa ilalim niya, receivables, ipag-add mo si inventories, tsaka i-add mo si other current assets. 880,000 plus 1,396,000 plus 1,350,000 plus 998,000 is equal to 6,624,000. Meaning to say, yun yung total current assets mo. Gets ba yun? Kung napag-usapan na natin kanina si total current assets, pumunta naman tayo kay non-current assets. So, sa non-current assets, dito na papasok yung example na property, plant, and equipment net, at saka yung other non-current assets. So, para makuha si total non-current assets, kailangan lang natin ipag-plus, ipag-add si property, plant, and equipment net kay other non-current assets. Meaning to say, 1,900,000 plus 827,490 is equal to 2,727,490. Tapos, kung nakuha na natin si total current assets, nakuha na din natin si total non-current assets, pag-uusapan naman natin ngayon si total assets. Madali lang yan. Ipag-add mo lang yung total amount na nakuha natin kay total assets at saka ipag-add natin si total amount na nakuha natin kay total non-current assets. Yung magiging sagot nun, yun na mismo yung total assets. Bali 6,624,000 plus 2,727,490 is equal to 9,351,490. Ganun lang siya, guys. So, dito naman tayo kay liabilities. Diba sabi ko kanina si liabilities may dalawa siyang parts, may dalawa siyang types. Ito yung current liabilities at saka yung non-current liabilities. So, dito kukuhanin natin kung ano-ano ba yung mga totality nila. Diba sa current liabilities, meron tayo example na notes payable, trade payables, income taxes payables, current portion of long-term debt, at saka other current liabilities. Meaning to say, yung total amount ng mga yan ipag-add mo lang. Katulad dito, si notes payable, si trade payables, meron tayong 2,870,000. Sa income taxes payables, meron tayong 3,000,750. Sa current portion of long-term debt, meron tayong 2,000,000. Tapos sa other current liabilities, meron tayong 37,890. Tapos, ipag-add mo yung apat na yan, bali 2,870,000 plus 3,750 plus 2,000,000 plus 37,890, makukuha nating sagot is 4,911,640. And then, yung nakuha nating sagot na yun ay tinatawag natin total current liabilities. And then next, kung nakuha natin si total current liabilities, kukuhanin naman natin ngayon si total non-current liabilities. So, sa total non-current liabilities, di ba, sa non-current liabilities, meron tayong mga example na long-term debt, net of current portion. So, kukunin mo lang yung amount nun, which is 3 million. Meaning to say, sa 3 million na yun, yun na yung pinaka-total non-current liabilities natin. Ngayon, kukuhanin natin si total liabilities. Para makuha natin si total liabilities, ipag-add lang natin si current liabilities at saka si non-current liabilities. Bali, makuha dito, total current liabilities, which is 4,911,640 plus 3 million. Ang makukuha sagot is 7,911,640. Yun na mismo yung total liabilities. So, dito naman tayo kay equity. Sa equity, meron tayong mga example. Yung example na diniscuss ko kanina is stockholders' equity, capital stock, at saka si retained earnings. So, sa capital stock, nakakuha tayo ng 1 million. Sa retained earnings, nakagain tayo ng 439,850. Ngayon, kung gusto nating makuha si total stockholders' equity, kailangan lang natin ipag-add si capital stock at saka si retained earnings. So, ganito yung magiging sagot natin. 1 million plus 439,850 Yung 1,439,850 na yun ay tinatawag natin total stockholders equity. Ngayon naman, to finalize, kung gusto natin makuha si total liabilities and stockholders equity, ang kailangan lang natin gawin ay alamin muna natin kung ano ba yung total liabilities na nakuha natin kanina. Diba yung total liabilities na nakuha natin is 7,911,640. Tapos yung stockholders equity kanina is 1,439,850. So kailangan lang natin ipag-add si total liabilities at saka si total stockholders equity. Bali maging sagot 7,911,640 plus 1,439,850 is 9,351,490. Yun na mismo yung total liabilities and stockholders equity. So, in conclusion, nalaman natin sa statement of financial position, malaking bagay talaga yung assets, liabilities, at saka si equity. Kasi yung tatlong key elements na yan, dyan lang naman laging umiikot yung mga topic natin. And then, nalaman rin natin kung paano natin nakuha yung account natin na as of December 31, 2010. Nalaman natin kung ano yung total assets, total liabilities, and total equity, kung saan nagbabalance yung tatlong yun. Ganun lang siya kadali. And now, let us now proceed to the Statement of Comprehensive Income or the SCI. Ano nga ba yung Statement of Comprehensive Income o yung tinatawag natin income statement? So, sabi dito, income statement is a financial statement that presents the success or failure of business operations of a company for a given period. In terms of profitability, its elements are revenues and expenses. So, sa madaling salita, yung income statement, dito napapasok kung nag-grow ba yung business, kung nakuha nyo ba yung profitability. Ibig sabihin, nag-gain ba yung business, nalugi ba siya or hindi. Dito rin natin malalaman yung ano yung kaibahan ni revenues kay expenses kasi yung income statement, doon rin siya madalas umiikot. And then, meron tayong two elements sa income statement. So, ano-ano nga ba yung dalawang elements na yon? Dito napapasok si revenues and then si expenses. Pero bago ang lahat, ano nga ba yung kaibahan ng dalawang yan? When we say revenue, this refers to economics benefits that flow to the business in the form of increase in assets. It is also a reduction in liabilities resulting from the business operations. So, sabi dito, yung revenue daw, ito yung kumbaga pinaka-total amount of capital. Ito yung kabuuang kita na gain ng business mo. So, bakit ka ba kumikita? It's either, dalawa lang yan eh. It's either nagbenta ka ng produkto or nag-render ka ng service. Dito rin nag-i-increase yung assets natin. Tapos sa expenses naman, ito daw yung pertains to a decrease in economic benefits of the business due to reduction in assets or addition to liabilities resulting from the business operations. So, dito naman sa expenses, from the word itself, expenses, ito yung mga ginagastos natin, binabayaran natin sa pang-araw-araw natin. So, meaning to say, sa madaling salita, yung expenses, lagi siyang reduction sa assets or deduction sa assets. And then, hindi ba sa income statement, meron tayong mga title accounts? And yung isa nga sa mga title accounts na yun is net sales. So, ano nga ba yung net sales? Net sales is the sum of a company's gross sales minus its returns, allowances, and discounts. So, sa madaling salita, para makuha natin yung net sales, yung formula na gagamitin natin is sales minus kontra revenue. Yung sales na yon given na siya. So, madali na lang siyang isolve. Basta lagi yung tatandaan, kapag pinag-minus natin si sales kay kontra revenue, yung amount na makukuha natin yon COGS means cost of goods sold. So, sabi ko nga kanina, di ba, parang in-explain ko na siya kanina, na yung COGS, more on sa manufacturing business siya. Ikaw na bumili ng product sa isang company, pero yung binili mong yon ay ipagbibili mo rin sa iba. Meaning to say, yung cost na yon, yung nakuha mong cost na yon ay tinatawag natin cost of sales or COGS. And then, pangatlong accounts, title account sa income statement is gross profit. So, paano ba natin siya makukuha? Madali lang. Gamit yung net sales, yung amount ng net sales, ipagmaminus mo lang siya kay COGS. And then, yun na mismo yung magiging gross profit natin. Laging tatandaan, net sales minus COGS is equal to gross profit. And then, pang-apat, sa title account ng income statement ay ang operating expenses. So, ano nga ba yung operating expenses? Sabi dito, operating expenses is an expense a business incurs through its normal business operations, often abbreviated as OPEX. Operating expenses include rent, equipment, inventory costs, marketing, payroll, insurance, staff costs, and funds allocated for research and development. So, sa madaling salita, si operating expenses, yun yung mga expenses a business incurs to keep it running. Yung mga example niyan is staff wages at saka yung mga office supplies. And then, punta naman tayo sa operating income. Para mas mapadali natin yung pagkuha dito, kailangan natin ipag-minus si gross profit kay operating expense. Yung amount na makukuha natin sa dalawang yan ay tinatawag nating operating income. So, isa pa sa mga title accounts na meron tayo ay ang interest expense. So, paano ba natin siya makukuha? Ganito lang siya kasimple. Para makuha siya is kailangan natin ipag-minus si operating expense minus operating income. Yung amount na makukuha natin yon ay tinatawag na interest expense. So, sa income before taxes, sa madaling salita, para makuha natin siya, kailangan natin ipag-minus si operating income kay interest expense. Bali yung amount na makukuha natin ay siyang tinatawag na income before taxes. And then, dito na tayo sa taxes. When we say taxes, this is the sum of money demanded by a government for its support or for specific facilities or services, levied upon incomes, property, sales, or etc. A burdensome charge, obligation, duty, or demand. When we say taxes, para mas madalian tayo, ito yung mga involuntary fees na ini-enforce natin by government purposes, by government entity. And then last, but definitely not the least, ito na yung pinaka-inaabangan natin, yung net income. Net income is also called net earnings, is calculated as sales minus cost of goods sold, selling, general and administrative expenses, operating expenses, depreciation, interest, taxes, and other expenses. So, sa madaling salita, yung net income, yun yung also tinatawag rin natin siyang net earnings or net profit. Kaya nga net earnings kaya nga net income. Meaning to say, kung ilang amount ba yung kinita ng business mo. Ganun lang siya kadali. At saka para ma-solve pala siya, kailangan lang natin ipag-minus yung income before taxes kay taxes, and then yung makuha nating amount, yun na yung tinatawag na net income. So, dito na tayo sa pinaka-final outcome, yung pinaka-output natin. Sabi, di ba, sa heading, nagsisimula dapat sa name of the company, which is the Diamond Finance Corporation. And then, pangalawa, yung title of the report, which is the income statement. And then, pangatlo is the date of the preparation, which is for the year ended December 31, 2010. So, yung year na ginamit natin is 2010. So, kanina, di ba, sa mga title accounts, in-explain ko na isa-isa kung ano yung net sales, kung ano yung cost of sales, kung ano yung gross profit, operating expenses, at saka marami pang iba. Ngayon naman pag-uusapan natin yung mga account na nakuha natin within those title accounts. So, sabi dito sa net sales, nakuha natin is 3,547,000. Sa cost of sales naman, yung nakuha natin is 2,079,480. And then sa gross profit, para makuha natin siya, pinag-minus natin yung net sales kay cost of sales. Ibig sabihin, 3,547,000 minus 2,079,480 is equal to 567,520. And then sa operating expenses naman, yung given na nakalagay dito is 217,538. And next na operating expenses is operating income. So, para makuha natin si operating income, kailangan natin ipag-minus si gross profit kay operating expenses. Bali, makuha natin 567,520 minus 217,538 is equal to 349,982. Yun na mismo yung operating income natin. And then next is interest expense. So, paano ba natin makuha si interest expense? Kailangan lang natin ipag-minus si operating expenses kay operating income. Bali, makuha natin is 217,538 minus 349,982. Yung makuha natin is 250,000. And yun yung tinatawag natin interest expense. And then next, income before taxes. Para makuha natin yung income before taxes, kailangan natin ipag-minus si operating income minus interest expense. Bali, makukuha natin is 349,982 minus 250,000 is equal to 49,982. Yun yung income before taxes. Sa taxes naman, yung given natin is 14,995. Para makuha naman natin yung pinaka inaabangan natin na net income is income before taxes minus taxes. Meaning to say,